the first time I came to the temple, I was 17. And actually, the very first time I came to the temple, it was a Sunday feast. And Prabhupada was giving a lecture. I remember the lecturer, he had mentioned Watchtower. And when I saw Prabhupada, I immediately fell in love. And the lecturer had convinced me this is a pure devotee. And I wanted to be a devotee. And I told the temple devotees that I wanted to join right then and there. And at that time, there was no question of you had to be 18. They put me in a sari, and I joined. I didn't even tell my parents. And it took them quite some time to find out where I was. And my parents were very strict. I was brought up in a strict environment, and it was about 2.5 months before they found me. And it upset them very much, even though they were religious-minded. It was something new and different. So I had to go back home and finish high school. But when I turned 18, I went back to the temple. But immediately when I saw devotees, I knew that's what I wanted to be, a devotee. It was something I knew that I had experienced in a previous life. It was something familiar, something that was not something I felt I had known previously. And it was like a reawakening, a similarity that I felt I could pick up easily. I was doing service in the kitchen, and my service was to set up the deity offering in the morning. And I had to go into the temple to set up the plates. It was in the morning before Guru Puja. And as you all know, Prabhupada would give out cookies. And this time, someone had made sweet balls instead. And the temple room was packed. There were devotees from the San Francisco, San Diego, Laguna Beach temple. It was so packed, and Prabhupada would give out sweet balls to the children, the mothers first. And I thought, how can I get a sweet bowl from Prabhupada? I had to go in the kitchen to do the offering, set up the plates. And I thought, there's no way I could get this sweet ball. At one point, when Prabhupada was done with the children and the mothers, he started throwing the sweet balls in the air. And the crowd just got ecstatic. And the men just got closer and closer to Prabhupada. And everyone was jumping up. And I thought, no way am I going to get a sweet ball from Prabhupada now. And I had to go into the kitchen. So I got on the floor and paid my obeisances. And as I'm getting on the floor offering my obeisances, I'm in the back of the temple. And my head goes on the floor. And I'm looking, and the sweet ball is rolling straight at my head. It's a whole unsmashed sweet ball. And I'm looking, and I was just so amazed that it didn't get smashed by these stomping brahmacharis. And I was amazed that Krishna and Prabhupada knew my desire. I'm so happy that I could go into the kitchen to do my service on time and still get the sweet ball from Prabhupada. So I put the sweet ball in my bead bag and ran into the kitchen and did my service. And I was just very grateful that Prabhupada gave me my sweet ball. I was a receptionist at the Brooklyn Temple. And once again, you could hear a pin drop. And it was very, very quiet. So I would greet guests whenever they would come in. And sometimes there would not be any guests, so I would simply sit at my desk and chant Hare Krishna. And one time it was very, very quiet. And Prabhupada's quarters were kind of in the back. And so I'm sitting there quietly chanting my rounds, and all of a sudden I hear something. It's Prabhupada singing and playing his harmonium. He was alone. I didn't hear any devotees. It was just Prabhupada singing and playing. It was that song, Sava Avatara Sava Shiromani. And I was listening. It was pretty loud. I don't know if a door was open, but I could hear it pretty good. And I was enjoying it very much so, because nobody was talking. It was just me and Prabhupada. And as I was listening, all of a sudden, Prabhupada started sobbing. sobbing, and then he couldn't sing anymore. And then he stopped playing harmonium. Prabhupada was sobbing, stopped playing for a few moments. And then after a few moments, he started singing and playing harmonium again. It was very special. I didn't hear any devotees. Then he played and sang for Krishna. And then a little while later, he started sobbing again. And he started sobbing and stopped playing. And it happened a few more times. This was so special, I started crying. And it meant a lot because I knew no one else was there. It was just Prabhupada and me. And I could not believe what I heard. Just Prabhupada having this love for Krishna, sobbing and crying and stopping over and over again.
Je anilo